Hey, what's up guys, looking at you with a brand new Yu-Gi-Oh discussion video, and in this video we're going to talk about the new details and cards revealed via WIGO organization for the upcoming Charmer structure deck. So this is a structure deck I've been waiting for quite a while, of course. Structure deck poll, it ended up being the third voted deck in the structure deck poll behind Sacred Beasts and Shadows with Trap Tricks, making up the fourth deck. Which kind of questions, you know, even though we're getting a bunch of Trap Tricks cards just randomly throughout the boosters, are we still going to get a Trap Trick structure deck? Who knows? But anyway guys, let's jump into this analysis and hopefully you guys do enjoy the video. Starting off with the box art, guys, we do have, of course, artwork of the original four Charmers here on the structure deck box art together. Of course, you got Area, Orsa, Heater, and Win, and their four various pets, which do look very nice here. Now, this is the original form, so based on this, we would suggest that the support is only going to be for the regular Charmers, and as far as I'm aware, for as long as I've been playing the deck, I have never run the base Charmers in the deck. They did announce that they're doing like Shatterfoil-ish special rarities for the Charmers as well, which would be nice to collection as these guys are really popular over in Japan. As I think they also did like a special like event prismatic secret rare version of each of the four base Charmers. And of course, there are the 20th anniversary secret rares for the Link Charmers in those sets as well. And of course, the popularity of the Charmer archetype in Japan is why they actually were valid to be on the structure deck poll in the first place. Sadly, the TCG wanting Shadows and Sacred Beasts and all that memeing did push the Charmers down to number 3. But if any of the archetypes on there really needed support other than Sacred Beasts, it was definitely Charmers. So it's really nice that we're getting this. Whether or not, of course, when we look at Charmers as a whole, if you've seen my other Charmer videos, you'll know the archetype is a bit of a mess. It was never really meant to be an archetype. It was more meant to be like, oh, these are all related to each other, but they don't really do anything together. And then, of course, we got Unpossessed and Awakening of the Possessed. Now we have this structure deck, and we do so far have one new card. I can't remember how many cards we're getting, and I can't remember when the release date of this was in Japan. So if you guys know that information, please let me know in the comments below. But we're going to jump into it now and take a look at the brand new card we're getting. First off, of course, this will be the first of hopefully many, because I think Sacred Beast got 9 cards. So I'm hoping we get at least 5. But that doesn't leave us much room for new versions of the monsters, or does it? Let's take a look. So first off, we have Grand Spiritual Art Ichirun. Spiritual Art, of course, referencing the old Charmer traps. And in its artwork, we do see, of course, Heater, Orsa, Area, and Win. And it reads, you can only use the second effect of this card's name once per turn. The first effect is once per turn if you control a spellcaster type monster with 1500 defense. When a monster effect that was activated on your opponent's side of the field resolves, negate that effect. Now, the 1500 defense is actually, will encompass every single Charmer form except the Link. So it informs the Cataclysmic Charmer, informs the Familiar Possessed form, and of course it also affects the base form, which is fine. But then, you know, no one plays the Cataclysmic forms. Most people don't even know they exist, and I don't think many people are going to play the original forms. You just play the Familiar Possessed because they're level 4 1850 beat sticks. And the second effect is reveal one spellcaster type monster in your hand, and a monster with 1500 attack and 200 defense that has the same attribute as that monster from your deck to your hand, and shuffle the reveal card into your deck. Now, this is actually a really good effect. Now, it is a searcher, which the archetype desperately needed, but it does have a few issues. For starters, it kind of goes against the plan of Awakening of the Possessed. Now, Awakening of the Possessed wants you to have as many different attributes on the field as possible. That being said, thematically, it makes sense that the Charmer would be able to search and call for her own pet. So this is the kind of, like, issues that this archetype has. Like, do you want to go flavor route or do you want to go consistency route? Now, of course, the idea being that you would then use the Awakening of the Possessed on the field. You would, say, reveal Win from your hand. You would reveal Familiar Possessed Win, then you would go ahead and grab Ranru. You would normal Ranru, or you would normal Win, then you would special Ranru, and then you'd go draw a card, and you'd go make something like Utopia Double. So then this card is essentially this and whatever Charmer you reveal is a 1-card Utopia Double. The downside of this is, of course, that this can be ashed, and the second effect, of course, is only an on-field monster negate that can be removed with something as simple as a Mystical Space Typhoon. It also prevents you from having Secret Village of the Spellcasters out on the field, which is another great card that really supports this deck super well. It locks your opponent out of spell cards as long as you have a spellcaster. And then Awakening of the Possessed prevents your spellcasters from being, your charmers from being destroyed by card effects, which means your opponent has to beat over them, and once you have enough charmers on the field, they're going to be too big to beat over anyway. So that's definitely decent protection there. This card does kind of go against that strategy, but I guess it fits thematically with the archetype. But honestly, like, it doesn't have Possessed in its name is something else I wanted to mention, because Awakening of the Possessed and Unpossessed both have Possessed in their name, which means that if we were to get something like they could search Possessed cards, it wouldn't be too broken because there aren't too many quote-unquote possessed cards, and then we could search the field spell, which means we wouldn't need to rely on not having only having one terraforming or one metaverse here in the TCG. But I guess they don't want a monster that can search our field spell, like, because our field spell is that strong. But nevertheless, we got the field spell, so we can't complain. Also talking about that, we do have, other than the 4 original Charmers in Shadowfoilish Rarity, we do have a confirmed reprint in the OCG of Awakening of the Possessed, which I'm super happy for Japan, and anybody in Japan who wants to play this deck that couldn't get a hold of Awakening of the Possessed. If you guys didn't know, it was a prize card over in the OCG, and quite an expensive one at that, and I do believe that's why it was short printed in our version of Dual Overload. Not that this card is super expensive, but it was short printed for us here in the TCG. When this deck comes to the TCG, if it even does, because there's a chance it might not, because it's Charmers, and no, I don't think many people in the TCG really care about the Charmers that much. I've met a few people who like the Charmers, but not many. I'm super happy this card is reprinted for them, because this card is easily the best card they have in the deck. Like, absolutely insane 3-of. Artwork is gorgeous. Does so much for the deck on one spell card. Absolutely incredible. We have no word on whether they're reprinting Win the Spirit Medium, which is the Jump promo. And I also don't think there's any word on the other 3 girls getting their Spirit Mediums versions as well over in the OCG. Again, of course, we've seen, based on the structure deck box art, the field spell, and we're going to take a look at the sleeves, the new sleeves as well in a minute. No confirmation of Dark and Lena being once again excluded. They are excluded once again from the structure deck from what we've seen and from the archetype. Konami wants to act like they don't exist. Nothing really that works too well with the Link monsters, but I guess the idea of going into the Link monsters, like, they're just another version of the beat stick that could just steal a monster from your opponent's graveyard. Not really something you'd go into too often. Why make them when you can make Utopia double? No new version of the pet. But if we do get 5 new cards, hey, we could get 4 new forms of the Charmers. Who knows? Anyway, guys, let's take a look at the sleeves and we'll wrap up the video. So the sleeves here now, we can see, apparently we are getting, if you do purchase this in Japan, you will get 2 sets of 100 each, because they didn't put all 4 Charmers on the same sleeve, which is a little bit upsetting. I mean, it is a lot more adorable. Look at how adorable Win and Petite Dragon are together. But of course, this one does not have the 4 of them on the same sleeve. This does have the 4 of them on the same sleeve. This probably won't come to the TCG. So I don't know how I'm going to get a copy of this, unless I know someone who's going to Japan around the time when this is coming out, because I'm definitely going to get them to get me some of these, because these look absolutely adorable. I do believe they're from the same artist as the overall archetype. I can't remember her name, but she also did do the Trap Tricks artwork. So if you guys know that artist's name, please let me know in the comments below. I love these sleeves. Again, my only criticism is, well, yeah, they're not all on the same sleeve, but I guess I could probably use Win and Orsa on my main deck, and then I could use Area and Heater on my side, on my extra deck. But I would prefer, that maybe Area and Heater would have been with Win rather than Orsa. Maybe I'm a bit biased, I just don't really like Orsa that much. But anyway, guys, what do you guys think of this new reveal so far? Let me know in the comments below. What kind of stuff do you think we're going to be getting in the future for this archetype, as in like the other cards? Do you think this deck will even come to the TCG? And of course, if you like this video, remember to like and subscribe, and hit that bell button so you're updated whenever I release new content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video.